I'm goofily happy because I have such a sweet video bomber. Aren't you lovely? I love you, my boy. I love you, Ubuntu. Anyway, I'm deliberately doing one of these journeys with Jane videos every Tuesday. Yeah, totally like Tuesdays with Morrie stuff. And the one that I wanted to do today is an interesting one, and it relates to how prideful people can be when we venture opinions and I am right and you are wrong. And there's this kind of impulse for a lot of people that the purpose to things is winning, as it was. And the reason that this lesson's in mind is kind of obvious during the misinformation and the disinformation, the fighting and the infighting of the pandemic, but also because it's something that Jane used to say. I remember Jane said to me once that in her opinion, the older that she got, she found that the single most unattractive human quality was what she described as the unwillingness to be wrong. The unwillingness to be wrong, or to put another synonym to that, the insistence that I am right. And I really love the way that she phrases it, because think about it. When we argue about things, oftentimes it's really an ego-based thing and who is correct. And it's almost like you've got to work out which ground is right. And it's very difficult to dialogue or to get anywhere, if that's the point, because then it's not a pursuit of truth. It's really a pursuit of ego. And so the simple wording of it inverts that idea and says it's not about actually who's right or wrong. It is rather putting yourself in a more humble position when you are prepared to be wrong. Instead of coming out of this assumption that I need to be right, which is often based on how we view ourselves and how we root our identity, that it is necessary for me to win this argument to be of worth or value, which is nonsense. That's a total delusion. You are of infinite worth and value by virtue of your humanity. And so trying to put the kind of burden of that value on one of your opinions is daft. That is not where your value comes from. Your value comes from something deeper. So instead of the insistence that I've got to be right and therefore you need to be wrong, or if I am proved wrong, therefore you are more of a human or better than me, how about I'm prepared to be wrong? It's not even saying that I necessarily am wrong, but it is I am willing that I might be, even about very important things, even things that you really would rather be right about. It's like, okay, I'm prepared to be wrong about this. And that is a position which takes you from a rigid way of approaching the world into one in which you can be more flexible. Because the truth is, of course, a few things come to mind. Socrates, of course, said that the one thing that we can know is that we know nothing. There's so little that we can actually know tangibly that being humble about what we do know is pretty important. So insisting that you're right about things that you can't really know that much seems a bit daft, basically, and a bit prideful. I mean, pride being the original sin and all. And the other thing is Aristotle, of course, said that it's a mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain another opinion without necessarily accepting it. Being able to listen to different ideas with a constant idea of the picture in my mind of how I think the world has to work and how I think reality functions might be faulty. I might be wrong. I'm willing to be wrong about just about everything. It allows one to be a lot more flexible, and I think that ultimately that's a better way of living. So, and also, the one thing I'm not willing to be wrong about is how wonderful Ridgebacks are. Yes, officially the most wonderful dogs in the world. I love Ridgebacks. I'm simply right. But more seriously, be willing to be wrong. Just there you go, my boy. Can you please hold the phone? Yeah, can you hold the phone for me? There we go. Yeah, switch off the phone, my boy. That's it. Bye, everyone. Cope with Corona. There we go. Peace sign.